Hello, I'm going to give you a quick tour of the mapping application that I put together displaying Texas data. On the Texas map here that we see when it first comes up is the background wells displayed in oil and gas, and then the blue symbols are the focus of this map, which is permits so far to date in 2019. I'm going to zoom up to an area here to give you a little bit better view of some of the data as well as show other information and layers that will pop up. As I stated before, the blue are recent permits, and you can zoom in and see more detail. There is a legend up here which will indicate, the permits, which are the blue symbols. I also have a layer for completions and a layer for plugged wells right here. And if you want to further deep dive into things, there is a layer list that is here that shows the various layers that are on the. This layer is the permits. That's the blue symbols that we see out there. This is the laterals or the directional traces. If we were to zoom up on an area, you would see the directional lines between the surface and the bottom hole locations. There's a layer for completions, which are the yellowish, layer for plugs, which are the purple. There's also some a base map in the background here where you can see, and that has other individual layers on there. We can turn the surveys off. And, there's the counties in here. Similarly, there's layers for the wells here. This is all the background wells that are in there. And before I won't get into those too deep at this level, but suffice it to say, more information becomes available the closer in you zoom. So with regards to the wells as well as other data. So I'll zoom in real tight on this group of wells right here. And I don't know if you noticed on the wells here, the basic well information, they popped up, and we get a little bit more detail. Now this is a historic well. I can click on it, do some information, and the attribute data associated with that well will show up. If there's more than one item located at that well, there will be multiple points in here. Similarly, this is a permitted location over here. I'll point to that. And as you can see, there's a permit, which comes up, but there's also well data underlying it or multiple permits. And I can scroll through the different pieces of information. So those are the fundamental layers. If I want to zoom back out to where we started, I can go here. Now, I have some other capabilities in here, which I can search for a well by an API number. I can search by a permit number. I can just zoom to a county. Let's just put a county in there, and I just and it should remember. It will give you a list of counties as you type in there. Of course, it helps. Yeah. And then it'll zoom up to the county, and you can see the activity in there as I described to it before. There's similar queries if you want to go in there. If you I'm going to zoom back out. Let's say you want to query for an operator. So we'll go up here and we'll find an operator. And let's go to Geez, let's look for Chevron. And as I started to say before, I can go in here and it will find a list of wells that are permitted by that one actually goes for the permits. I'm new to this uh, talking on the computer and giving instructions this way. So if I sound discombobulated, it's because I am. Uh, I've got some other capabilities built in here. There's some bookmarks that were set by me that will go to pre-zoomed areas, East Texas and the Permian Basin. Um, I haven't tried this, but I believe that as a user on your own system, you can set bookmarks in here, and each time you come in here, it will remember your bookmarks, but I won't necessarily see them on my end. Now, if I want to add a bookmark in here, I can come in and zoom to an area, and I will add that as a Glasscock. My, all right, and then we'll remember that. Can zoom to another area, and if you want to erase it, but you can just hit the little X there. But that is kind of a neat little tool. Again, I've got these widgets down here uh, by the same token, and I'm hitting my scroll button and zooming back out. If I want to change the background base maps, which I just went in there and there's a variety of base maps that I've got set in here that you can use and put in. For this project, I didn't, we could have the capabilities of having aerials in here, but they ended up being darker and the wells didn't show up well, so I didn't put those in. But that's certainly something that we can build into it. I've got some search tools built in here that are similar to this up here, and I'm learning how to build various search tools into it. But this one also will, allow you to search by county. And here's a filter tool, which will uh, allow you to, this again is similar to the search that I did up there. We can find permitted operators. And then this is a select tool. I can go in and I can select from specific layers. So right now I'm going to go in here and let me zoom in. I'm going to zoom into an area okay. I selected a certain number of permits from this area. And now, so those are selected, and we can investigate the tables that they're in. Now, they're the permits, and I'll go back over that again. Down here at the bottom, I can open up the table distribution, and I can see the tabular data that goes along with the wells or attribute data, however you want to call it. Uh, I can show the selected items, and this now will give me a list of what we have selected up here when we selected that area. And you have the capability within this to export that selected data. You can export it to a file, and it will send it to your own system. I believe it's limited to 100 or 200 items for a couple of reasons, but primarily to keep things from getting bogged down. If you tried to pick everything, it would take forever. And you know, I'm not going to continue with that, but uh, uh, there are other layers in here, which of course are not selected because I only selected the permits, and I go back to that tool. I can clear the selection so that we don't have that in there. So now, if we wanted to go down to completions, we could actually go in here and do some. We could filter the completions based on an area, and there are some tools built in here that way. I'm skipping over it. What I wanted to do in this is to give you a general feel for the maps. I'll zoom back out again, and the capabilities. There's a lot in here. I think the things to note is the attribute data that's behind the well spots, the the various presentations, and a lot more will be coming uh, as we expand on this project. But right now, I hope this will give you a decent introduction to what we've got. Thank you, and have a good day.